And so the initial idea I had was, oh, I wonder if we could do London to New York and go everywhere. And then started doing the maths. It's like, that's going to take a lifetime to save up for. Because one of the key things for this trip as well is like, I don't want to work a single day on it.
Yeah, you spoke about HK2NY there, and you've said yourself it's the series that basically launched your YouTube channel. You did 20 countries in 4 continents. How did you plan that trip?
So the plan for that trip, my first backpacking trip in 2006 was like 6 months, and I did a working holiday, sort of mini working holiday visa in New Zealand. And so for this one, I was like, right, rather than just focusing one place, I want to go to as many places as possible. You know, I was kind of inspired by like the Long Way Round and Long Way Down, Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman series. And so the initial idea I had was, oh, I wonder if we could do London to New York and go everywhere. And then started doing the maths. It's like, that's going to take a lifetime to save up for. Because one of the key things for this trip as well is like, I don't want to work a single day on it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't want to be doing any crappy bar jobs or, you know, cleaning bed sheets in hostels or anything like that. I just pure 9 months of traveling. So once I realized I couldn't do the whole world, I was like, well, let's focus it more on the sort of younger backpacking scene spots, because you're never too old to go traveling. You're never too old to go backpacking even, but you don't want to be 50 years old at the hostel with a bunch of 21-year-olds. I mean, you can do, but you know, I sort of may as well focus on those places whilst we're that age. I mean, we're still 29, so we're kind of older than a lot of people we met on the trip, but I just focused it on that party backpacker scene, so we could do that, you know, whilst we were that age. And it just started so I was like, oh, we'll do Southeast Asia, do Australia, go back to New Zealand, and then do bits of South America. The only reason we did a little bit of Central America because you had to change planes there anyway. So like,
really?
We'll add that in. I'd been to America a lot growing up with the family, but we'd never done all the way across and hadn't done the deep south. So that's how that final leg came together.
Awesome. And you mentioned that it's this amazing trip across the entire world. Would you change it in any way? Is there any way you wish you stayed longer, for example?
Well, I wish we stayed everywhere longer. Could have easily done 18 months. But I think the bit I think we messed up with the trip was the last leg across the States. Like I didn't plan it well enough. Because there isn't a backpacking scene like other countries, you can just show up, go to a hostel, and there's a huge list of activities. Whilst in America, there wasn't really hostels, and you know, you go into a motel and all the leaflets are for like family days out and stuff. And so we kind of messed up with that one. And plus, there was like a government shutdown whilst we were there, so all the national parks were shut.
Oh, wow.
So we kind of just did a sort of drinking mini golf tour of the States, which was fun, but didn't make the best video. If we went back and did the exact same route again, we could probably do a hell of a lot better trip and just plan it better. But in hindsight, considering the kind of backpacking we were enjoying, we probably should have just carried on going through Central America and finished in Cancun or something. I mean, Hong Kong to Cancun doesn't have the same ring to it, but you know, that's probably what we should have done.
Yeah, and it's 9 months, 11 episodes. So I'm an editor myself, and watching that made me anxious. Just thinking the sheer amount of footage you must have had to work with. What was it like going through all of that footage?
It was fun. I mean, I remember when I first got back, and I was like, right, I'd better start putting this all into Final Cut and organizing it and seeing if we've actually got a series here. Because I wasn't sure if we'd filmed enough. And the strangest bit was looking at the footage of us at Heathrow Airport at the start. Because, you know, I hadn't watched any of the footage whilst we were away because the laptop I took with me was like dying the entire time. So I couldn't really watch any of it back. And seeing us at the airport just felt like a lifetime ago. It didn't feel like 9 months, felt like 3 or 4 years. And James looked so young and so different. The thing is, the haircut James has at the start of the trip.
He really changed throughout the trip.
He had that haircut the entire time I'd known him, which had already been like 10 years. So he'd always looked like that. But then across the trip, you know, he grew his hair and got a tan and all that. And so it was so weird, like barely recognizing that, even though that's the version of him I've known the longest time. So that was cool. But then it's just, in terms from an editing perspective, you know, people go, how do you edit 9 months of footage? It's not like you get the whole footage and put it on a massive timeline and start. Like you just break it up to country and then place and then activity, and you sort of break it all down to the little moments and then just start building it back up again. So it's sort of, you know, you're just editing one day or one location at a time rather than thinking about, oh God, I've got 9 months. I mean, it took about a year to edit.
Really? Wow.
But not like, it wasn't like a year non-stop. It was like I got back to a full-time job and I was sort of doing it like in the evenings or or when no one was looking at my computer screen or stuff like that.
Mm.
So yeah, it took a while, but it was worth it.